us today for today's webinar on the Environmental Studies program and Environmental Sustainability program as well. So before I jump into the rest of our slides here, I am going to go over some housekeeping items that I do want to touch on. So before we begin, there's just a few Zoom things that I want to touch on. So please note that all participants except for our host have been muted for the presentation portion of this webinar. The question and answer session will be worked into the presentation. There is a slide for questions at the end. And then also, if there aren't any questions at that time, we have worked it into the end of the presentation as well. So please submit your questions through the Q&A function located in the bottom navigation bar. Alternatively, you may also use the chat feature, but the Q&A function works best for us, as we can either answer the question directly through this feature or also answer the question live as we walk through this information session. Also, please be aware at this time that if not all of us, most of us are working remotely and from home. So there may be some unavoidable noises or unexpected things going on in the background, but we are doing our best while we work from home. Lastly, I do also want to note that we are recording this webinar. So before we jump into things, we are going to do some introductions just so you know who we are, that we're not just these random boxes kind of talking about the program and about Lakehead. But to start off, my name is Erin and I am an undergraduate recruitment officer with Lakehead University. I am also an alumna of Lakehead. I did take the Bachelor of Arts English program, and I'm also born and raised in Thunder Bay. So if anyone ever has any questions about Thunder Bay, the English program, or beyond that, I'm definitely able to answer most questions. But next up, we have my colleague who's behind the scenes here.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Rebecca. I'm an undergraduate recruitment advisor, and I am out of the Aurelia campus. So if anyone has any questions about Aurelia, I have been here for a number of years. So please feel free to chat or ask questions. I will be behind the scenes today, making sure that all of your questions are answered.
And next up, we have our faculty who is joining us today.
Hi, I'm Adam Cornwell. I'm in the Department of Geography at the Thunder Bay campus, where I'm the program coordinator for environmental studies programs.
Hi, I'm Shri Kurisheri. You see a long first name there, but you can call me Shri. I am chair of the Sustainability Sciences Department and based in Aurelia, and I'm part of Department of Biology also. I oversee the Environmental Sustainability Program. So Aurelia, Lakehead University partnership, and anything about Environmental Sustainability Program, I'm here to provide that. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, Adam and Sri. So before we jump into all of those program specific slides, there are a few things that I do just want to touch on. So just about Lakehead, we are one of Canada's top 10 universities. We are also #2 in undergraduate research university, which is huge for a lot of our programs because you're not waiting until your master's, your doctorate, your PhD before getting those research opportunities and really getting that hands-on learning and being able to apply that learning in the classroom to really real world examples. Also, 90% of our classes have fewer than 60 students. This is a stat that was always really close to my heart. And knowing that I was able to get that one-on-one interaction with professors and really feel like I was fitting in with my peer groups as well. We also offer over $11 million in scholarships and bursaries to students just like you to fund your education. So that's not $11 million total that we've ever offered. That is $11 million every year that we offer to our students. We do also have over 65 programs in our undergraduate studies, and we are touching on a few of them today. But another great stat about Lakehead is that 97.7% of our grads are employed within 2 years of graduation. So we are proud that we create job-ready day one graduates, with a lot of graduates actually even getting jobs in their field and careers before they've even walked across the stage at convocation. So without further ado, we are going to start off our programs with environmental studies.
All right, thanks, Aaron. That's Phil Freilich there from the Earth Sciences program. We can go on to the first slide. We created the environmental studies programs at Lakehead to deal with environmental issues that can be really varied and complex. There's a lot of different issues facing the environment as a result of human activity. So environmental studies is about addressing the issues where there's conflicts between the human use of resources and the natural environment. Next slide, please. Because the problems that we face are so varied and because they're complex, it's necessary to have a multidisciplinary approach and not just look at it from one of the traditional academic disciplines. There aren't just scientific issues at the heart of our environmental problems. There are also socioeconomic issues. There are also cultural issues that need to be addressed. So what we have with our environmental studies programs is a multidisciplinary suite of courses with some common courses for all environmental studies students, a lot of multidisciplinary electives from a number of relative disciplines, and then based in one of the traditional disciplines. The next slide. So we have, in environmental studies, we have 4 different programs. Science programs based in biology, geography, and earth science in the geology department, and an environmental studies program in geography as well, which has less of a scientific bent than the 3 science programs. There's also the environmental sustainability program at Aurelia, which is also multidisciplinary. Sri's going to talk more about that in a moment. And for all of these programs, except earth science, you can also find concurrent education programs. So if you're interested in teaching, that can be combined. You can get an education degree at the same time as you're working towards one of these other degrees. Next slide, please. We are at Lakehead University, and I think Aaron's already talked a little bit about the advantage we have with small class sizes. We have great opportunities for experiential learning and summer research, especially when the weather's nice. But we're very close. We have direct access to the urban environment in Thunder Bay, to rural and agricultural environments nearby, and natural environments, all within just a few minutes drive of campus. So we're very much at the interface between the built and the natural environments. Next slide, please. I made a list of some of the really focused careers for graduates from our programs. Our graduates are specifically suited for careers like these, lots of them in consulting work or working with government ministries like the Ministry of Natural Resources and Fires or the Department of Fisheries and Oceans, working with municipalities. Now, it's not, it shouldn't be read as an exclusive list. There's lots of other careers that our graduates are well suited for, especially those related to our home disciplines like biology and geology and geography. But if this is the sort of work that's interesting to you, then one of our programs is probably the right place to go. Next slide, please. It is a challenging field. And so these are challenging questions. I like to think that our programs are exciting, that these challenges are interesting, that the multidisciplinary coursework keeps students and researchers motivated. There's lots of different partners to work with, and our faculty work with each of these. And if you're part of this program, then we'll provide you with the opportunity to develop the techniques and the skills that you need to work with these challenging environmental issues. And that's my side of the presentation.
Okay, thank you. And may I start, Erin? Okay, thanks to Adam, gave a really wide range of information for all of our environmental programs that are in the variety of programs that we have at Lakehead. Environmental sustainability is one other program that we have in the environmental area. This program is offered at our Aurelia campus, which is in Southern Ontario. If you are from other parts of the nation, we are close to Toronto, an hour and a half away by drive, and this program is offered in that campus. And I'm chairing that program. Happy to go into the details. Next slide, please, Erin. That's, just took a screenshot of our departmental website on the Lakehead website, and I can right away see there what is environmental sustainability about, and just to give set that stage for that that image in your mind. Next slide, please. We have a number of versions of different versions of the environmental sustainability program. I just gave the long list there, but I'll go into details of one by one. Next slide, please. Honors Bachelor of Arts, Science and Environmental Sustainability. This is the home program that we have. As you can see there, the BASC part, it's a Honors Bachelor of Arts and Science. That is a unique feature of this program. It encompasses the arts and science umbrella, like it says, a wider umbrella of arts and science covered in the same degree. So instead of HBSc or HBA, your degree is going to look like a Honors Bachelor of Arts and Science. So that's one unique feature of the Environmental Sustainability Program. In addition to those two very catchy words for the employer, that one is environmental and the other one is sustainability. Those two words we hear a lot these days. Next slide, please. Another significant feature of the environmental sustainability program is it has a co-op option. If you are interested in faster employability and having, to have that co-op added to your program, that this is an opportunity to do that. The home program is 4 years, and with your 4 work terms, co-op work terms, it will become 5 years when you graduate, but the additional 1 year is embedded. Actually, it is immersed in the program. So after your second year, you go do a work term, then come back to school, then you go again to do a work term, come back. And so it is embedded in the program. It's designed in such a way that you have a work term in spring, another one in summer, another one in fall, and another one in winter. Exactly what you need for environmental sector. You need to get that exposure to the employment sector in all different seasons. Because environment is different in all different seasons, right? So with that objective in mind, we spread it out in such a way that you get one work term in all different seasons. Next slide, please. There is biotechnology is a buzzword nowadays, and you get a lot of attracted to employers are attracted to this kind of degree names on your transcript. So you can achieve that by having taking a specialization in environmental biotechnology under the umbrella of Honors Bachelor of Arts and Science in Environmental Sustainability. Next slide, please. Want to your passion to be a teacher, there is this concurrent education option also, with 2 additional years, 4 years for the home program and 2 additional years for the concurrent part of part of the program. So you get a B.Ed for primary junior program. You can do it in already. Next slide, please. There are a number of college transfer programs. If you decide to go to college first and then do your diploma there and trying to transfer, if there are someone like that in the audience, there we have different transfer programs that you can transfer from college to university. Lakehead's environmental sustainability program. Next slide, please. And this is a highlight. One of our very, very special version of our program is the 2-in-1 degree diploma combination. It's a combined degree. Combined degree diploma program with Lakehead's partnership with Georgian College, which is situated in Barrie. So this is a 4-year program. So you can get a degree in honors Bachelor of Arts and Science degree in environmental sustainability with a specialization in ecosystem management. And at the same time, you can earn an environmental technician diploma of Georgian College. Even though this slide, when I gave the slide, it just said 2-in-1, and that's how I started talking about this program. But recently, I'm realizing that it is not 3-in-1, a 2-in-1. It is 3-in-1 because you get a degree, a specialization, and a diploma at the same time, like in just 4 years. The first 2 years you will be located at Barrie campus of Georgian, where you take Lakehead courses as well as Georgian courses. And year 3 and 4, you will be at the Aurelia campus of Lakehead taking Lakehead courses. And at the end of the 4-year, you get both credentials. Next slide, please. And there is a certificate in environmental sustainability. It may not be relevant for high school students, but just for information, someone who already has an undergraduate degree, this is a certificate that they can take in environmental sustainability. Next slide, please. And we have the non-honors versions also, and also you can take a minor in environmental sustainability if you are doing another major. Next slide, please. Just a little bit about what is the uniqueness again. It's the location of the campus. As Adam mentioned about the other environmental programs in Thunder Bay and so much green around, so much nature around. In Southern Ontario, also we know the proximity to Algonquin Park, and we take our students for field school there, and so many lakes around. So we do a lot of aquatic biology research as well as hands-on work. That is accessible to students also. So the location of the campus and the demand of such a degree of environmental sustainability, and the lead campus, we are an environmental standard building that the Aurelia campus is located. So I think I always get excited to talking about this because I'm teaching environmental sustainability in a building that is, actually making it as a practice. So basically, we're not just telling, but we're practicing it. That's a great feeling to teach environmental sustainability in a lead campus building. And as I mentioned earlier, it's a uniqueness of the arts and science combination, and the mode of program delivery, we use it as an inquiry-based and student-centered approach and inquiry-based. So you think about environmental conservation, which is inquiry into environmental conservation, is a course that we try to bring in all these the current concepts of inquiry, ask questions, try to find answers by yourself. It's kind of facilitating that. So it's an inquiry-based approach, that the philosophy behind the behind the designing of the program. That's also important. And as I mentioned, there is a co-op option and also the combined degree diploma. These are the uniqueness if you're asking me how is it different from other programs. Next slide, please. Courses, there are some basic courses that very common courses with all other environmental program also. And there are environmental sustainability focused courses. There are some of them. And the disciplinary courses like plant biology, animal biology, geology, crust of the earth, and there is a statistics, a preliminary statistics course, and there's an environmental chemistry course where you bring in all the elements that are required to get that umbrella covered, the environmental sustainability. We have a environmental thought and policy course where you, and an environmental assessment, impact assessment course, and those are some examples. And I can get to the some cutting edge courses also, like a GIS, it's a geography course from Adam's department. So the GIS and advanced GIS for the degree diploma course program, and environmental biotechnology, another course, applied and environmental microbiology, freshwater ecology. So, and the highlights I can give you is there are 2 field school in the program. There it's so much of hands-on and experience in the field. So a number of lab related courses of all of those. Next slide, please. Yeah, experiential learning. As I mentioned, we take students to Algonquin Provincial Park. This year we started a team teaching focus also, so we can bring in aquatic ecology, terrestrial ecology, paleoecology, geomorphology, all those in one field school, so that you get 4 experts giving you all the information that you need to think about when you graduate, to be scientifically to find scientifically based solutions to environmental issues. And we have a lot of research projects that you can do under the supervision of our faculty. We are a research intensive department that all of us do research in environmental related problems, and you can definitely get a summer work with one of us, or research work during the fall and winter term also. And as mentioned earlier, small class sizes, so you get to know us directly, like, oh yeah, do you want to work with me, and yeah, you want to join in my project, and the kind of personal access to professors projects also there. So that's another thing that I can highlight. Next slide, please. Yeah, potential summer jobs. So, and co-op placement. Mostly, if you are looking for something locally, there are cities and municipalities, and also environmental education organizations hiring the co-op students, as well as if you are not in the co-op program, you can still be hired for summer jobs by these organizations. And proximity to Toronto would help you get something in that vast employment sector there. So with the arts and science focus of the program, co-op employment is also, you can get a wide variety of them. So that from my experience, everyone looking for a co-op placement, they got one or other. And sometimes you get co-op placement 1 year after year after year, and finally end up getting a job there. That also I have seen happening for our students. Next slide, please. Faculty research projects, as I mentioned earlier, we are very active in environmental research. We have different faculty members from different areas of expertise. Like we have biologists, we have geographers, we have a physicist, and chemist, And all of us, even though we are from different disciplines, we all have our research theme as environmental sustainability. So you will see a number of projects that we are working on actively, and you can participate. Next slide, please. Graduate studies. There are, from my experience, seeing students joining the graduate programs at Lakehead itself. From after graduating this program, I've seen at least three graduate programs. One is natural resource management has a program. I've seen students opting for that, and the Masters in Environmental Studies that Geography department owns. That also there are students after environmental sustainability, you can do that Masters. I've seen students doing that. I've also seen a number of students doing Department of Biology's Masters in Biology, MSc Biology, and then PhD Biotechnology is another option. And of course, you can, with this undergraduate degree, of course, you can go anywhere in Canada or outside for a 4-year graduate studies, master's, PhD, and beyond. Next slide, please, if there is one. Jobs, yes, definitely. So it's mostly covered by Adam in his presentation. So in various occupational fields, environmental protection, conservation and preservation of natural resources, and environmental sustainability itself. And in different sectors like provincial and federal ministries, private industries like automobile, that's one thing. And I have seen our students employed in automobile industries. If they have a green project, they would be hiring them, and also non-profit organizations, environmental education organizations, and of course, municipalities, cities. I've seen number of them getting employed. Department of Fisheries and Oceans, Ministry of Natural Resources, Ministry of Environment, and such. So where in Canada or outside, we've seen students getting hired by head abroad also, not because they don't have anything here, but they opted to go abroad and work it's again with the summer job there, and then they got hired. That example also coming to my mind when I think about possible jobs. Next slide, please. I think it's done. Okay. There are questions at the end or now I can address.
Yeah, thank you, Adam and Sri, for your informative slides. I think I did see a few questions come through. I know that my chat thing says that there are some, but Rebecca, are there any questions that we can answer live with the faculty?
Those chat bubbles are from me. I was providing some links for our guests here today. We don't have any questions currently, but I do encourage everyone online today to post some, and we will get those live answered for you.
All right. Thank you, Rebecca. So to give everyone a little bit of time to maybe think of questions or to type away, sometimes I know it takes a little bit to type some questions out, especially if you need to get specific wording or anything like that. I am going to go through some other more Lakehead specific slides, and then there will be an opportunity again, if there are any questions that did come through during that time, to get those answered. And this is your moment to ask faculty, if you're interested in the program, some of those really specific questions that you may not have answered through some of our other webinar series. So it's a great opportunity to have the faculty here with us today to really get those answers that you're looking for. So to move on to some of our other slides here. You're probably wondering, if you are interested in Lakehead, maybe talking about some of the programs did pique your interest or looking at them a little more closely. You're probably wondering, well, what are my next steps now? So we have some important dates to keep in mind coming up. So we have our application deadline coming up for, these are direct from high school students, so these are 101 applicants. So there is a January deadline for any applications through OUAC. We do also have some entrance bursary deadlines coming up. So to keep in mind that some of our scholarships, some of our bursaries, you have to apply to them before you start your first academic year. So keeping that in mind as well. And then there's also the deadline to accept your offer of admission. So some of these dates do seem really far away. I totally understand, but they do definitely creep up really quickly. I can't believe that this weekend's already Thanksgiving. So keep these in mind, mark your calendars, set reminders just to make sure that you don't miss out on these upcoming dates. We do also want to invite you to come and see our campuses. So we are currently offering live guided virtual tours of our Thunder Bay and Aurelia campuses. And we are working as well on getting our in-person campus tours up and running. So if you go to lakeheadu.ca/tours, you can stay tuned for when we're going to be opening up our in-person tours. But until then, we are running these virtual live guided tours. So we are live guiding these tours. We are not putting out a pre-recorded session, so we are able to answer any questions that you have about our Thunder Bay campus or Aurelia campus right while you are joining the tour. And I feel like Rebecca probably put the link in the chat there. I saw another notification on my end. Thank you, Rebecca. We also have a virtual open house coming up. So we can't do some of these events in person, so we have decided again to offer a virtual open house. We actually have 2 coming up, but one of them isn't this Saturday, but it's next Saturday on October 16th at 10 a.m. and that's Eastern time. So if you're not within our time zone of Eastern, just to account for when your time zone might be at, it is open for a number of hours. We are going to have different presentations. We have faculty, admin, and supports joining us as well. And this is open to students, their parents, guidance counselors, anyone who is interested in learning more about Lakehead, our programs, and some of our student supports as well. So again, we have tons of presentations going on. We have a student panel that's going on as well. So definitely take a few minutes or take an hour or so on Saturday and then also on December 8th to join, see what it's all about, and ask some of those questions for different supports that are available on campus as well. And with open house, sorry, registration is required. It is open right now. Rebecca probably again posted the link to that. It's lakeheadu.ca/open house. You do have to pre-register for that. We do have a ton of other events coming up as well. So we do have our Getting to Know Lakehead series, and that's more about exploring some of our faculties. So these are run by our recruitment officers and recruitment advisors. And this is just where we talk about the different faculties at Lakehead and what programs are under them. We do also have our All About sessions where we just kind of give you a general understanding of really what Lakehead is all about, what you can expect as a student, some of the supports we have, what residence looks like, our athletic facilities, and really just general information on what you need to know about Lakehead. We do also have our Discover Lakehead sessions. You are in one right now. We do have a ton more going on. I know it was mentioned through the webinar today that education is an option that some students look at with environmental programs. We do have an Education Discover Lakehead coming up, so be sure to check that out online. And hopefully this isn't the last time that we meet with all of you in our audience today. You can book a virtual meeting with us. So if you go to the lakeheadu.ca and /upcoming events page, you can scroll all the way to the bottom. There is a list of all of the recruiters that you can meet with. We are happy to meet with you face-to-face through Zoom, or if you prefer a phone appointment, we can definitely accommodate that as well. You can also give us a quick email if you have a quick question about any of our programs, upcoming deadlines, or you can also give us a quick call as well. You can also scan that QR code. It should bring you to the page to book a meeting with us as well. If it makes it a little easier, you just have to open the camera on your phone and scan it. And we also like to stay in touch with you through social media. So we have a number of social media channels where we post a lot of different updates, whether it's reminders about webinars that we have going on, reminders about open house coming up, deadlines that are coming up, or just about things that are going on campus. So we have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We have started up TikTok as well. And then we also have YouTube. So we do post a lot of program sessions like this onto YouTube. So if you ever miss out on a session, you registered and you weren't able to make it, or the time just didn't work when you saw it on our website, we do end up posting a lot of them to YouTube, so you can still tune into them, still get that information without missing out. So that concludes our presentation. So hopefully we have piqued your interest, answered some questions about some of our programs, but this is also still your time to ask any questions that you may have thought of along the way since our question slide. But I will stop sharing my screen here and see, Rebecca, were there any questions that came in from our audience?
No questions right now.
No problem.
I lied, we have a question.
Perfect.
All right, we're wondering what the difference is between the environmental studies versus the environmental science programs.
Well, that'd be for me. And yeah, they actually do have quite a lot in common. The difference is that the science programs have more focus on the science. So you'll end up with more courses from natural science-based fields, whether that's physical geography or biology or chemistry. Whereas with the environmental studies courses, you'll end up with a few more courses from disciplines like philosophy and political science, sociology. In either case, you're going to be getting some of those. Right in first year, there are going to be science courses required for the environmental studies program, and there are going to be humanities courses required for environmental science. It's just a slightly different focus as you go through the programs.
Perfect. Thank you, Adam. I don't know if Sri, you have anything to add to that, or it was a perfect answer on Adam's end.
Yes, it was perfect answer. If I may add a tiny piece, is the environmental sustainability program kind of stays in the middle because of the arts and science focus. So it is covering a wider umbrella. So honors Bachelor of Arts and Science. So that's all I wanted.
Thank you, Adam and Sri. Any other questions from the audience, Rebecca?
Don't have any at this time.
No problem. So I'll ask a question. Are there any specific research projects that you have had students participate in? So whether it's, something specific with an organization or industry in Thunder Bay or Aurelia, and something specific that a lot of students really enjoy doing in the program?
Should I take that? Okay, I can.
Either.
Yeah, I have a few of them coming to my mind from the I think a few years back, we had back 2 or 3 projects from Environment Canada. So that one was mostly focusing on the phosphorus pollution in the lakes around Lake Simcoe and around. So there we had a number of projects there and a number of students working on those projects. And then another one I can coming to my mind is one with, again, I think it was also Environment Canada, the caffeine as an anthropogenic marker of water pollution. That was an interesting study that we conducted. And another one coming to my mind is a carbon sequestration projects that we have now also within ongoing projects, which is mostly funded by Lake Simcoe Region Conservation Authority, and in collaboration with the Conservation Authority. That one, again, a lot of wetland studies on that. So those are the ones coming to my mind. Yeah, climate change, water pollution, paleoecology, reconstructing the historic events, volcanic eruption, and all of that. I'm thinking about one of my colleagues who's really an expert in that area. Yeah. So it's okay. I can come up with I can talk about more projects, but I think this is enough, right? Yeah, a variety of projects like that: microbiology, aquatic ecology, climatology, paleoecology, terrestrial ecology. What else? Yeah.
I don't know if Adam, you have any projects to add that students have participated in?
We've had a few. We've got a wide range of projects, as Sri has mentioned. We did have one working on site remediation. One of our lakeshore sites ended up doing some scuba diving down there. Another one, evaluating the city of Thunder Bay's low impact drainage systems. And he was opening up the fire hydrant to pour water down and just see how the drainage was working out. And we had a student working at the hospital. We set up an internship program where she was able to work at the Thunder Bay Regional Health Sciences Center on their waste reduction and energy consumption programs, because the hospital uses a lot of energy and produces a lot of waste. So that was a pretty rewarding program for them.
Awesome. So it doesn't look like we had any other questions coming in there, but we will stay on just a little bit longer, just in case, again, anyone has anything that they're typing behind the scenes there. I will maybe ask some other questions. What are your favorite parts of teaching this program or these programs?
Adam, go ahead, please.
You can start.
Well, it probably came across with what I put in my slides, but I really do enjoy the multidisciplinary aspect at it. I like looking at problems from different directions and using different tools rather than just focusing on one discipline or another. Totally,
I agree. The interdisciplinary aspect is the first one coming to the mind. Is I'm a biologist and cross-pointed with biology, so I can, yes, biology is in my brain a lot, but how we can bring biology in, how we can bring geography in, how we can bring geology in, and even like sociology, as Adam mentioned earlier, philosophy and political science, and so all those kind of coming in, and that interdisciplinary nature, as well as the inquiry based, because it is, especially when I'm thinking about environmental sustainability program, it's not a discipline based program, it's a theme based program. That's in the uniqueness of that too. So environmental sustainability is you can think about it as a theme, and what are all needed for that theme, that focus. That is what we are thinking about when we teach, and again, bringing back that the lead standard thing, and I kind of really feel like that kind of rewarding to teach that environmental sustainability when I'm in a classroom where it is practiced, and interdisciplinary aspect, as well as that real sustainability feeling that we get when we're teaching in that building. That's also very important for us, especially in Aurelia. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Adam and Sri. I saw that Rebecca posted our recruit email into the chat there. So for anyone who, maybe you don't have questions now, but you think of questions, in the middle of the night or over the weekend or something like that, and you did want to end up asking us, definitely feel free to just jot down our email, write it down, copy it, throw into a sticky note on your desktop or something like that, just so you're able to connect with us a little bit later down the road. So it doesn't look like we have any more questions coming in. So Adam and Sri, thank you so much for joining us today to talk about your programs and to answer my questions, to kind of spark some conversation. And thank you to everyone in the audience who took the time to join us today to learn a little bit more about our environmental programs at Lakehead. Have a great rest of your day, everyone, and enjoy your evening.